Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. We've got a really fascinating set of sources today looking at something pretty unique. It's this blend of elite sport, really cutting-edge tech, and, well, vital environmental focus. We're talking about the E1 Miami Grand Prix.
That's right. And our mission today isn't just to, recap a race. We're digging into what the sources tell us about its actual significance. This
Yeah.
whole thing was set up to be more than just a championship final. It was meant as a showcase, a real proving ground for sustainable marine technology.
Yeah, and the context is key right from the start. I mean, the sources make it clear this was a big statement. The U.S. debut, the season finale, all happening Saturday, November 8th, 2025, and not hidden away, right?
No, absolutely not. Front and center, Miami Seaplane Base.
Exactly. Using Biscayne Bay as this incredible sort of natural arena.
And that location choice, it really says something. You've got this major urban center, a coastal city that's, directly dealing with environmental shifts. It gives the championship's mission, ocean preservation, immediate relevance, immediate weight. The sources describe the vibe as, well, electric. Apparently a big, vibrant crowd, the place buzzed with excitement. That suggests it really grabbed people's attention, maybe in a way that traditional boat racing sometimes struggles to.
Okay, so let's zoom in on that spectacle, because when you think high-speed racing on water, you usually picture, engine roar, fuel smell, lots of churned up water.
Yeah.
But this sounds fundamentally different. What was the tech making it happen?
Right. We absolutely have to talk about the Racebird, because this is not your typical powerboat. It's a completely fresh design built around electric power. And the absolute key is the hydrofoil system.
Okay.
So for anyone listening who hasn't seen these things, picture wings, basically, attached under the hull. As the boat picks up speed, these foils generate lift, just like an airplane wing.
And the boat actually lifts up, right, out of the water.
Exactly. It lifts pretty much the entire hull clear of the water,
Yeah.
riding just on those foils. It looks quite graceful, almost like it's flying just above the surface.
Okay, so that lifting action, that's what makes electric power viable here, isn't it? I get hydrofoils reducing friction, but why is cutting drag so critical for electric boats specifically, given, the limitations of battery power and weight?
That is the absolute crux of the engineering challenge and, frankly, the breakthrough. Think about traditional boats' displacement hulls. They push through the water.
Yeah.
That creates huge amounts of drag, especially as you try to go faster.
Right.
Now, add heavy battery packs, because you need a lot of energy for performance, and batteries are dense, much heavier than, say, a tank of gasoline for the same energy potential. With a normal hull, that extra weight just makes the drag problem worse, maybe even impossible to overcome efficiently at high speeds.
So the Racebird design kind of sidesteps that whole issue.
Completely. It tackles it head on. By lifting the hull clear, riding on the foils, the dynamics just totally change. The sources really emphasize this.
Yeah.
It drastically cuts down the wetted surface area, how much boat is actually touching the water.
Right.
And by doing that, you slash the hydrodynamic drag. The numbers mentioned are pretty staggering. Estimates are around an 80 to 90% reduction compared to a conventional hull going at the same speed.
90%. Wow, that's huge. That efficiency gain must be exactly what lets them use those heavy but zero-emission battery systems and still hit what the sources called incredible speeds.
Precisely. It's a perfect example of high-performance design solving an environmental constraint.
So the need for efficiency drives the tech innovation.
Exactly. You can't get the speed without the hydrofoil efficiency, and you can't meet the zero-emission goal without the battery power. The two are totally linked. It forces this elegant solution where performance and sustainability push each other forward.
Okay, fascinating engineering. Now let's shift from the boat design to the competition design. Because this championship wasn't just about the tech specs, was it? It seems like it was engineered for global appeal, for cultural impact too. Tell us about the teams.
Yeah, that's another really interesting layer. The structure was quite deliberate. It featured mixed-gender teams. All teams had both male and female pilots competing.
And this wasn't just like a suggestion.
No. The sources indicate it was baked into the rules. Mandatory participation required driving time for both pilots in competition. It seems designed to ensure real equity, real opportunity within the sport itself.
Which definitely positions E1 as, looking towards the future, a very modern league. But what really seemed to crank up the volume on this Miami finale was the star power involved. We're not talking small-time investors here.
Not at all. The list of team owners is seriously high profile. Global icons. You've got Will Smith, Tom Brady, Rafael Nadal, Mark Anthony, all backing teams.
It's quite a roster.
It is. And this celebrity involvement, it's clearly strategic. It's not just for a bit of glamour. It fundamentally changes who pays attention to this event and what message gets out.
Okay, so explain that. Why should you, listening right now, care that, say, Tom Brady has an electric race boat team? What's the bigger implication?
Well, it just massively broadens the conversation, doesn't it? When you have figures like that involved, the event suddenly registers way beyond the usual motorsport crowd.
Right.
You're pulling in fans from mainstream sports, from film, from music. And crucially, you're also drawing attention from sustainability advocates, from the broader cultural scene in a place like Miami. The sources suggest this crossover appeal was vital. It turned the finale into a major cultural moment, giving the technology and the environmental message just unparalleled visibility.
So it basically transforms the whole thing. It's not just a niche race series anymore. It becomes this global media platform. The racing is the hook, maybe, but the message about sustainability and tech is the real product being delivered.
I think that's a very good way to put it, which leads us nicely into that core mission, right?
Yeah.
What was happening besides the actual racing on the water?
Yeah, what about that legacy piece?
This is where you see the E1 series try and be more than just sport. The Miami GP was very intentionally set up as a platform to spotlight the future of clean technology, sure, but also the urgent need for ocean preservation. The speed was exciting, but it was linked to a purpose.
So the boats being zero emission wasn't quite enough on its own. The whole event environment had to back that up. How did they push the sustainability message to people who were actually there?
They went pretty hard on that, according to the sources. Lots of interactive displays, things explaining, the physics of hydrofoils, the advantages of electric marine power, but also, importantly, robust educational programs
Uh-huh.
and significant community engagement, often partnering with local groups already working on marine conservation in the Miami area.
Okay, so if you went to this event, you weren't just watching fast boats, you were potentially getting a hands-on look at green tech, learning about local environmental challenges.
It's exactly. Getting real insight into how innovation, like the kind packed into that race bird, can actually drive environmental progress, particularly in the marine world, which faces huge challenges.
It sounds like they were trying to offer a really optimistic vision. Yeah. Tech solving big problems.
I think so.
Mhm.
And by holding the finale in Miami, they were tapping into the city's own image. It's sort of forward-looking vibe, that commitment sources mentioned to creativity, progress, and a greener future.
Yeah.
It helped cement E1's identity. It was this fusion of high adrenaline sport and a serious sustainability mission.
It really is an incredible combination when you lay it out. Electric speed, zero emissions on the water, and then bringing in these huge global names to amplify the message about a potential technological path forward for marine environments.
Yeah.
The key takeaway seems to be that the tech innovation wasn't just cool, it was actually the enabler for the environmental goal. You couldn't have one without the other here.
That's a perfect synthesis.
Yeah.
The high performance demanded the efficiency, which enabled the zero-emission power. And given that specific, very advanced technology, these fast, efficient electric hydrofoils being used to promote ocean health, it does raise a pretty important, maybe provocative question for you to think about.
Okay.
If this level of high-speed, zero-emission performance is possible for something as demanding as competitive racing,
Okay.
what does that really signal for the future application of this kind of marine technology beyond the racetrack?
Right. So are we looking at a proof of concept for things like next generation fast ferries or cleaner logistics vessels moving goods along coasts? Maybe even things like patrol craft.
Potentially all of the above.
Yeah.
If the tech can be scaled, if it proves reliable and economical, the implications for making maritime transport cleaner and more efficient are just huge.
It definitely shifts the conversation. It goes from can we make racing clean to can we fundamentally change how we move people and things across water cleanly and fast.
Precisely. It opens up that much bigger possibility.
Definitely something to mull over. We really encourage you to look more into electric hydrofoil technology. It's fascinating stuff, and also into marine conservation efforts. Thanks for diving deep with us today.